Hi, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's see what we got here. It's 6:40 in the morning. Heading out on a little ride here. It's nice and warm already. Of course, the entire southern half of the United States is nice and warm. Going through this same thing. So, just is what it is. Sorry for the condensation on the lens. It clears up. So my local weather was showing where the Gulf of Mexico and the ocean down by the Florida Keys was, the Gulf of Mexico was in the upper 80s, and the Florida Keys had temperatures that was in the it was either 90 or 91 degrees. Let me tell you, man, you don't even want to swim in that damn water when it's that warm or hot. So, but the entire southern half of the United States is going through this, from California to Florida. So I can tell you, it feels like it's already in the 90s out here. It's nice and warm. So. All right, well, there's been a couple things go on since I was last on. First of all, I got a flat tire on this bike, the Rad. However, before everybody starts going, oh, you got a flat tire on your new tires. It wasn't the tire. The tire didn't get punctured. It looks like I might have gotten a bad inner tube, is what it looks like. It looks like I might have pinch flatted it, but it was only on one side of the inner tube. I didn't pinch flat it, y'all. Okay, I'm very tidy about checking my tire pressure every morning before I head out. But I was out on the bike and the tire started coming down. I could feel it. So I pulled over and aired it back up to 25 pounds of pressure. Well, airing it back up just made it worse. Putting more tire pressure in it just opened the it actually, y'all, looks like it's a little knife slice in the tire, about a ½ inch. And of course, flat out's not sealing that. There's just no way. There's some things flat out can't seal, and it can't seal that. So at the end of this video, I'll have a short little clip of it, of the inner tube and where the puncture is, or whatever we're going to call it. I don't think it's a puncture. I can tell you, it's almost impossible to flat spot one side of your inner tube, and it's not even on like the rim edge. It's where the rubber rim liner is where the actual puncture is. So but it was kind of a bummer, because this back wheel is no fun to take off. I'll tell y'all that. It always seems to get jammed up, and it's always a bitch to get off. But we got it off. We got a new inner tube in there. Luckily, I had a tube in the garage that already had flat out in it. I just put it in there. And I've rode about 50 miles since I changed it, and it seems to be holding. But the original inner tube, I had probably a couple hundred miles on it. So, but we're just gonna zip through the neighborhoods today. It's the neighborhood ride. So last night I went out on a group ride. We had a pretty good sized group. There was close to 20 of us. We had everything from e-bikes. There was me on the Rev 1. There was a Super 73. There were a couple Zeus's. There was a homemade Schwinn with a 1500 watt hub motor. It was actually nice. The bike moved pretty good. And then there were some some electric boards and some electric unicycles. It was a fun ride. It was warm, but it was fun. I enjoyed it. Would have been better if it had been a little cooler. We went to City Works and ate. But yeah, it would have been nicer if it hadn't have been so hot. They said we had a chance of rain this morning. I don't see it. I don't see any chance of rain here this morning, but maybe. Maybe. Now we're gonna zip through the park just a little bit. So we basically, on that ride, we catch some of the Fort Worth Trinity trails. We kind of go through the zoo and TCU area a little bit. Downtown Fort Worth. It's a fun ride. For some of y'all who haven't ever done it, you should come out and do it. Of all the rides we do, the Fort Worth rides are the funnest. At least I think they are. I live in Fort Worth, so they're funner for me because I'm not getting home at midnight and then unloading everything. Still got home late. I didn't get home till 11 o'clock. By the time I got everything unloaded and put up, it was midnight. So. So I'm really happy with the new battery. My last ride, I got 46 miles on it, and I didn't run it down to 0 or to under 20%. I still had like 36% left on it. So I do think, I'm not sure I'm gonna get 50 miles. But I'm gonna be close every time. I'll tell you this, I can get 2 good rides in now. That's what I wanted. You know, before I'd have to charge the stock grad battery. Which, by the way, if any of y'all live in Texas, I'm probably gonna be selling that stock grad battery. So if any of y'all are interested in it, give me a holler in the comments and I can get to you. Oh, look at that night heron down there fishing. I don't know if y'all could see him or not. These are the times I've been having to get out. It's either this or go out, but even in the evenings, it is still really hot. I mean, when I got home last night, it was still in the 90s. We're in that June, July, August time where it isn't any very much fun living here. But the rest of the year, Texas is a blast. I mean, the winters normally, you know, I mean, we get good and cold here, but we have weeks where it's nice in between. Hell, a couple years ago, my desert roses were out till December 31st. So, all the plants were out till then. Which I will have to say, my desert roses are really looking good this year. One of my desert roses, and I'm going to shoot y'all a short video on it. One of my desert roses has 6 seed pods, 1 plant. Looks really good. They're just barely getting started, these seed pods, but and then PM has a nice big seed pod on it. All these seed pods will pump seeds out in the fall. So I'll have seeds to plant in November. What we do in Texas here is we plant our desert roses in late November. We grow them in the house with grow lights. And that way we have plants to sell in March. Normally what I'll do is I'll plant about, last year I didn't plant any. But this year, I didn't have seeds last year. All my seeds developed in the spring, and they weren't any good by the late winter. But this year, I'm going to have fall seeds. So I'll probably do about 25 or 30 plants. And then I just sell them out of the, put a sign out front that says desert roses for sale, and people stop by and get them. So, I did have the roofer. This is a funny story. He comes by to unload the trailer and the stuff to cover the plants and all that stuff that they bring out. And he sees the desert roses, and he sees Star Child, which was one of my favorite desert roses, by the way. It was one of my best flower producers. Although all my desert roses have been pumping out flowers this year. Mr. White's never had flowers like that until this year. But anyway, he asked me if I wanted to sell one of them. And look, y'all, I have what I consider to be a fair price for my desert roses. After all, I have grown these desert roses since they were babies, most of them. And only 2 of my plants weren't either seeds I planted or seedlings that I got when they were about 3 months old. The Arabicum is an older plant. It was probably about a year old when I got it. And my Sublime Beauty was an older plant, probably a year old or so. Or 2 or 3 years old, maybe. But all the other plants are my babies. So I shot him this price of $60. I said, yeah, I'd probably sell it, one of them, for 60 bucks with the pot. And it had a 10-inch pot. I said, but you can't have the stand. You can only have the plant and the pot. This dude whips his wallet out and starts pulling out 60 bucks. I'm like, oh my God. Well, which one do you want to sell? I'd like that one. He points at Star Child. And I was like, all right, you can have Star Child. So Star Child is gone. So I'm down to 9 desert roses instead of 10. And I'm not going to replace it. I'm gonna hop off here and check this back tire just real quick. I've been kind of doing that periodically. I just want to make sure. Oh, I also put the Cloud 9 seat on here. That feels good. The reason I put the Cloud 9 seat on here is because my Bikeroo seat was squeaking and I got sick of it. Some of y'all might have could have heard that in some of the other videos that we had done. I got tired of hearing that thing squeak, and I had this Cloud 9 seat in the closet, and I just figured get rid of that squeaking noise. For some of y'all who are wondering, both seats are awesome. The Cloud 9 seat's really cool. The Bikeroo seat's really cool. Mine just squeaks a little bit. I was told that if you play around with the screws, it's got like a bunch of screws on the bottom of it, but you can take some of that out of there. I just got sick of hearing it squeaking when I would pedal. So let's get up this hill. I'll tell you, I feel for some of y'all people in Florida. Jeez. I know it gets warm and humid there, but y'all have been going through even brutal weather as we've been having here. And then Southern California also. It's just been so damn humid this year, man. You know, with them ocean temperatures being so high and the water evaporating, and then it just sucks it right into our states. I forgot my water bottle like a dummy. We're gonna have to head back and get that. Red-winged blackbird, they're so pretty. Oh, okay, so let's discuss Little Smokey. Who is Little Smokey? Well, my wife named that little mourning dove Little Smokey. Little Smokey is actually doing better. The wing is starting to come up a little bit. I'm not sure the bird can't even still fly. I'm not trying to not let it, but it sure is trying. It sure is still wingersizing in its cage. And you know, let me say this about that little bird. I never knew that, I didn't know doves were so sweet and personable. That little dove likes to come on out of that cage, and it'll come over to me, and it'll get up on my lap, and it'll lay down and go to sleep right on my lap. And it'll get on my lap, and it'll peep a little bit, and it'll preen my fingers. Now look, y'all, I wasn't gonna get close with this bird, but when I let the bird get hurt like a dumbass, letting Lucille out and forgetting it was outside, and her spooking it, I just felt so damn bad that I figured it was just, if the bird never flew again, we were probably gonna have to keep it. And so I figured we better get to know each other. Now, the bird was already imprinted on me. I was the one trying to keep from imprinting it, getting too close to it. And now I have. And like I said, Little Smokey is quite a sweet little bird. You know, the more I read up on dove tame right down and become really good pets. Now that wouldn't have been my first choice, y'all. I would have much rather that bird flew away. And it still may, we still may fly away, but it just may not be until late fall now. I can't see releasing that bird in this heat. It's probably not going to make it in this heat. I was trying to get it acclimated to the heat when the bird got hurt. So But bird's doing better. I've been doing some update videos. Tuesday is going to be 28 days, so I'll shoot a video on the 28th day, update video then. So, but I will have to say that he or she is quite a little personable dove. I am starting to think it's a he. I've read where mourning dove, the males are darker, and they get kind of a bluish cap on their head. It does look like the bird is starting to get a little bit of a bluish tint on top of its head. It is starting to get the little bluish ring around its eyes. You know, they get sexually mature at 3 months old, so you know, remember y'all, dove are the #1 hunted game bird in the United States. There are 365 million dove in the US, but every year 20 to 40 million of them are killed by hunters or predators. So they're quite a producing bird of their own. I mean, they'll have 4 or 5 clutches of eggs. As a matter of fact, y'all, I think little Smokey was abandoned. Okay, man, I'm telling y'all, we don't ever have mourning dove in the tree past May. And what, I found him in like what, middle of June? They're usually gone by then, and the white-winged doves are in the tree nesting. Well, we have the mourning doves come in about February, and they're there from February, March, April, May, and then they're usually gone. And then the white wings come in late May and June and have their babies, and I think they just take over the mourning dove's nest. So it wouldn't surprise me if little Smokey was abandoned. Let me say this, them white-winged doves are a lot prettier than mourning doves. Not that mourning doves aren't pretty. They're just not as pretty as the white wings. The white wings are a really beautiful bird. So are mourning doves. I didn't realize mourning doves were so pretty until you get to see one up close. You know, that brown and that gray and the turtle-like spots on its back, which is why some people call it a turtle dove. But see, like here, there's a white wing there. We don't have a lot of mourning doves in this area after June. Mostly we get these white wings, like that one right there. Well, hey everybody, I'm gonna have that short clip on the end here of the of whatever I got there on that inner tube. Let y'all check that out, see what y'all think about that. So well, if you liked the video, please hit the like button, please subscribe. We're up over 200 plus subscribers now. I appreciate everybody who subscribed and come on board with me. Thank you very much. Leave me a comment. Y'all don't leave me enough comments. Hell, even if it's a F you, leave me a comment. So, y'all take care. We'll see you on the next ride. Y'all have a good one, everybody. Okay, it's right there. See, there's a good slit right there. It's the inner side of the tire. There's the tire liner, or the rim liner, the rubber part of it. It's right along that rim liner. So, there you go, folks.